Are you ready to take your health to the next level? Join us for the 2025 Naturally Inspired Health Summit, the #1 rated health event in Colorado. Saturday, June 28th, 8 a.m. to 10 p.m. Sunday, June 29th, 8 a.m. to 6 p.m. 18 powerhouse speakers, 55 business booths, 25 breakout sessions, Sunday's farmers market with 20 vendors, Saturday evening networking and dance party.
The Naturally Inspired Health Summit was life-changing. The energy, the speakers, and the connections I made were incredible. I left with real, actionable solutions for my health and business.
This event was exactly what I needed. So many inspiring speakers like Dr. Peter McCullough, Dr. Lee Merritt, Dr. Carrie Made, and so many more. Amazing products and a community that truly cares about real health solutions.
High energy, positive community, real solutions for health. Get your tickets now. Want to participate and show your message? Visit naturallyinspiredhealthsummit.com or text 720-764-7448.
Did you know that carbon-60 is 172 times more powerful than vitamin C as an antioxidant? This powerful molecule is scientifically proven to neutralize free radicals, reduce inflammation, and promote optimal energy. How does it work? C60 fights oxidative stress, the root cause of aging and disease, helping your body repair and rejuvenate naturally. It's like giving your cells a protective shield. Here's what our listeners have to say. Mike from Denver says,
C60 in olive oil has been perfect as my daily detox. I feel cleaner, lighter, and more energized every day.
Sarah from Houston says,
The C60 topical spray is incredible. I apply it to sore joints and within minutes, the pain and inflammation starts to fade.
order now at c60.com or call 720-600-6040. Use coupon code TAMMY, T-A-M-M-Y, for a special discount.
Did you know 80% of beef consumed in the U.S. comes from 4 major corporations, much of it being imported or processed with additives? Want real beef from a real farm? Pumpkin Creek Ranch does things the right way. Local, grass-fed, dry-aged beef with no additives, no shortcuts, just honest quality.
Pumpkin Creek Ranch beef is the real deal. I love knowing exactly where my meat comes from. No additives, no nonsense, just honest quality beef.
Best beef I've ever had. You can taste the difference. Rich, tender, and packed with real flavor. Plus, supporting a local ranch makes it even better.
From pasture to plate, they raise their cattle with care, so you can get rich, natural flavor that only real ranching can provide. Stock your freezer with premium beef you can trust. Visit pumpkincreekranchco.com or call 970-658-0176.
Did you know that medicinal mushrooms are excellent for pets? Take our preferred pet health products for joint health, skin health, antioxidant protection, sow health, anti-aging benefits, gut health, liver support, cholesterol regulation, blood pressure support, brain health, anxiety relief, respiratory health, endurance and strength, anti-fatigue, and much more. Available in easy-to-take treats, great-tasting gravy, and our pet food blends.
Since adding mushroom dog food to my dog's diet, I've noticed a huge improvement in his energy and coat health. He's like a puppy again, even at 10 years old.
After starting my care on mushroom super sauce, her immune health and digestion have noticeably improved. She's more playful, and her fur has never looked shinier.
Learn how to get free shipping and how to join our monthly mushroom call. Text Tammy with questions or to order at 720-303-8868. Visit naturallyinspiredradio.com/mushroom. That's naturallyinspiredradio.com/mushroom.
Are you ready to stay informed and inspired 24/7? Tune in to Naturally Inspired Radio anytime, anywhere. Visit naturallyinspiredradio.com or for the best mobile experience, download the Simple Radio app. Search for Naturally Inspired Radio, save it to your favorites, and click on the graphic to listen instantly. Catch live broadcasts, revisit past shows, dive into long-form podcast conversations, and discover rare, censored presentations by leading health experts. Plus, explore documentaries uncovering the hidden truths of occult and esoteric history. Stay connected, stay inspired. Naturally Inspired Radio is always at your fingertips. Tune in now. For health questions or comments, text Tammy directly at 720-303-8868. naturallyinspiredradio.com.
The information and other content provided on this radio show or in any linked materials is provided for informational purposes only, not intended and should not be construed as medical advice. It is not a substitute for professional medical advice, diagnosis, or treatment.
Welcome. Oh, middle of the week already. Thank you for joining me today for Naturally Inspired Radio. It is a little bit overcast here in northern Colorado, but it was a beautiful morning. And I got out in the sunshine and got to do a little bit of running and a little bit of walking. Fantastic weather that we have, coming in. We're heading into summer. Thank you, Jesus. Thank you, Jesus. I'm telling you, I'm such a sunshine girl. It is hard for me to get through the winter every year. So I'm really excited about the weather. And I hope you're getting out early in the morning to get some of that morning sun. I want to share with you, if you are a longtime listener, then maybe just a few weeks ago, you knew that here in Colorado, we got a little bit of snow. And we already had our buds on our fruit trees here at the homestead. And so I was really worried. I was like, oh my gosh, we're not going to get any fruit. We're not going to get any fruit because it got pretty cold and it was pretty wet and the branches were pretty covered. But I thought, well, maybe because not all the buds fell off. So I have a little video to share with you today. Here it is from my homestead, my fruit trees. Yay, success. So did you see I have cherries coming in on my cherry trees? I have loads of pears. We're going to have so many pears this year. I have 2 pear trees and they're completely covered with pears. I'm sad to report I don't know what's happening with my peach tree. So I had a listener text me and say, peaches are hit and miss where you're at in Colorado. So you'd be lucky if you get any peaches anytime in northern Colorado. So it's a little different, in Palisade and at that in that area of Colorado. But here in northern Colorado, I guess it's hit and miss with peach trees. I wish someone had told me that when I planted them. Because I haven't gotten a single peach off of my peach trees since I planted them 5 years ago. So I don't know, it still looks pretty. It's green. They're very green. But right now it looks like we're going to get apples, we're going to get pears, and we're going to get cherries. So super excited about that. It's not all a bust. Anyway, beautiful springtime here in northern Colorado. My first story I want to share with you today, you guys. This is what's going through my head all the time now, is I think, how do people not know that, what we're living in is driven by business, that it is, a corporate takeover? How are they not seeing that? And then the second thought that goes through my mind right now is you're taking your health advice from these people and you're taking it. This is serious business, right? Who you allow to guide you in your health journey, that's serious business. If you're going to give your agency over 100% to somebody, I mean, that's life or death. That's life or death. And this is what people do in the allopathic model, right? They show up for their doctor's appointment and the doctor tells them what's wrong with them. And then they proceed to do exactly what the doctor tells them to do. The problem with that model is, you guys, these people are driven, and I'm not picking on the doctors themselves. Understand that this is a corporatized monopoly system. From the insurance that we pay for, to the hospital systems, the whole system is a monopolized machine, if you will. And this is where many people are getting their health advice. And the monopolized machine is, it protects itself. It's for the interest of the machine. It is for the interest of the dividends. It is in the interest of, its shareholders. It's got to make money, you guys. And so it does whatever it needs to do to get to that end goal. And if it happens to help people with their health in the process, well, hey, great. But you know what? We're just going to go forging ahead with the machine because this is the model that works for profits. And I have a problem with that, right? Because there's a lot of carnage along the way, obviously. So I wanted to bring these two stories because they're so blatantly obvious that, I don't know, when is everybody going to realize that this whole thing that we're dealing with here is a business? And these are kind of unrelated topics, but these are the types of people that you're trusting with your health. Okay. So the first clip is from Tucker. And we'll probably won't have time for the second clip before the break, but we'll go to the first clip. This is Tucker and Sean Ryan on Tucker Carlson talking about what I talked about yesterday when it came to household conspiracies, kind of like wink, wink, nudge, nudge, ha, 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 like, Epstein didn't kill himself. It's this open secret. Take a listen to this.
Like an idiot for being shocked because, of course, it's not a democracy. Of course, the system is rigged. It's fake because no matter who gets elected, you get the same foreign policy, you get the same economic policy, and the Epstein videos remain secret. So that just shows you that our system has no effect on the actual system.
Wait, what are you talking about? I thought we could all sleep well at night now knowing that Epstein legitimately killed himself, right?
What was that?
Did that just come out?
It's just two guys that I really like. I mean, I love Bongino, but he's a friend of mine. But you weren't convinced by that?
No.
Why?
I mean, I've dug into that, and it's just so spooky what's going on with that, and how nobody. I mean, how do you charge a guy with sex trafficking when there's no end users that have been charged? Who did he traffic to?
Well, that's a great question.
Apparently, just one perpetrator, Ghislaine Maxwell. She's the one that's taken the heat for all of it. Nobody else has been put in jail. Gosh, you guys, it's fascinating to me, right? Because these are literally open secrets now. Yesterday, I called them household conspiracy theories, right? These are household conspiracy theories. We still call them conspiracy theories, but they're not, are they? Because everybody kind of it's just so out there and in the open. But yet it goes uninvestigated. And that is the proof right there that you are dealing with liars. You are dealing with business negotiations. You are dealing with people who weaponize information against each other so that they can get the deals they want done. And, okay, fine. You guys do your business. But the problem is that, you guys are breaking laws and stuff and nobody's going to jail. And us normal people are being held accountable through, laws and whatnot. I mean, if the average person did something like what Jeffrey Epstein did, can you imagine? I can't even imagine. Right? You would be in jail. We would all be in jail. But because these people have a different currency, meaning they're uber rich and uber powerful, they have a different currency. They can be, blackmailed into negotiating for other business interests. And we pay the price. We do. Average Americans, we pay the price. Stay tuned, everybody. This is Naturally Inspired Radio. We'll be right back.
Have you heard about the powerful health benefits of medicinal mushrooms? Take our preferred medicinal mushrooms for immune support, gut health, antioxidant properties, stress and sleep, heart health, liver protection, blood sugar regulation, cholesterol reduction, anti-cancer properties, cognitive health, mood and mental health, heart health, antibacterial and antiviral, and so much more. Available in easy-to-take capsules, great-tasting gummies, and our special coffee blends.
Since adding these mushrooms to my daily routine, my cholesterol levels have improved, and I feel more confident about my heart health.
Taking one of these blends before bed has been a game changer. I fall asleep faster and I wake up feeling truly refreshed.
Learn how to get free shipping and how to join our monthly mushroom call. Text Tammy with questions or to order 720-303-8868. Visit naturallyinspiredradio.com/mushroom.
Did you know that 60% of American adults live with at least one chronic disease? At Inside Health, they take the mystery out of wellness with extensive testing and customized lifestyle plans, all from the comfort of your home.
I've struggled with low energy and digestive issues for years, and no doctor could give me real answers. Working with Inside Health was a game changer.
As a mom, I'm always putting my family's health first, but I was neglecting my own. Inside Health changed that. I started feeling better almost immediately.
Inside Health services help you and your family achieve whole body health with non-invasive personalized care. They listen to your concerns and health goals. They will pinpoint areas where your body needs support. They will create a simple, actionable plan just for you. Call them today, 970-685-8060, or visit InsideHealth.com.
Did you know that carbon 60 is 172 times more powerful than vitamin C as an antioxidant? This powerful molecule is scientifically proven to neutralize free radicals, reduce inflammation, and promote optimal energy. How does it work? C60 fights oxidative stress, the root cause of aging and disease, helping your body repair and rejuvenate naturally. It's like giving your cells a protective shield. Here's what our listeners have to say. Mike from Denver says,
C60 and olive oil has been perfect as my daily detox. I feel cleaner, lighter, and more energized every day.
Sarah from Houston says,
The C60 topical spray is incredible. I apply it to sore joints, and within minutes, the pain and inflammation starts to fade.
Order now at c60.com or call 720-600-6040. Use coupon code TAMMY, TAMMY, for a
Thank you so much for tuning in to Naturally Inspired Radio. This is where we expose what's broken in the healthcare system, connect you to real health solutions, and inspire you to take back control of your life. We want to help you feel empowered here, informed, and free to live naturally without fear, confusion, or any dependency. That is what we're all about here. And if you have a moment, I would ask you to head on over to Rumble. When you get there, type in Naturally Inspired Radio 247. This is our live streaming channel. You can catch the latest episode on here 24/7. And when you go there, you subscribe and you like, and maybe you leave us a little comment or share it with a friend. That helps us connect more people to real solutions for health, the stuff we're talking about here every day. And of course, our broader vision for Naturally Inspired is to change health culture, right? Change the way we practice what we do to curate health in our bodies and empower people with the knowledge they need to do that. So every time you share the show, every time you become a subscriber, every time you buy a product, every time you tune into the show, you're a part of that. You're a part of changing the health culture. And that is the only thing that is going to change our medical model in this country, is when people start thinking differently about their health. So grateful that you tune in and share the show and do all the things. We're so grateful for you. Working with you is fantastic. Okay, let's get back to the Tucker thing. So what am I trying to say with this? It's like, yes, okay, so we can see there's a pattern here, right? People get into office, they get into administrative positions, and the talk is all one way, like Dan Bongino and Kash Patel. You know, Kash Patel looks a little out of it to me. I'm not sure what's happening there. Maybe that's just my observation. But they get into, before these positions, they're all like, we're going to get in there and we're going to hold Epstein accountable and we got to do this and we got to do that. And then they get in there and something changes. And the only thing I can think of is that, things become clearer to them that maybe this is about negotiations, that this is actually about playing a bit of a business game. I can get this if I give that. If I withhold this, these people will have to do that. And it's about advancing, I guess, it advances the country, but like it also advances people's financial investments, like we talked about yesterday. Right? Like these people all are, they're on the same team for a reason. The climate cult people, all those World Economic Forum people, they're on the same team for a reason. It's because all of their financial interests lie within the climate cult agenda. And that's the facts. Bill Gates is wanting to dim the sun, and he's, doing stuff, with mosquitoes and stuff. Like he's all into, synthesizing health, coming up with patents and procedures and products that mimic nature, and he can sell in the health sphere. And the climate cult, the climate agenda feeds right into that, right? Don't eat beef. Oh, we've got to do this. We've got to do that. You can't breathe too much. I mean, literally, I think if Bill Gates gets his way, we're all going to be wearing masks that measure our carbon dioxide output. And we're going to probably be carbon taxed for that. Like I'm laughing because it's like crazy, but also like maybe they put masks on beef, on cattle rather, in the UK. I mean, that's where I see this thing going if we allow it. And so you really got to dial in, like, what are people's financial interests? And let me be clear here. This is the type of people you're taking health advice from. You're taking health advice from, insurance companies that are dictating the health model based on coverage. And people just trusting this system blindly with no thinking that, oh my gosh, these are run by a monopoly of companies. So I'm using these two clips to kind of point that out. Even Tucker and Sean Ryan are like, yeah, like Tucker says, they get in office or whatever. We don't really have any say, do we? Because even when we put the people we want in, the stuff still doesn't get done because something else is running the country. And that something else, you guys, is corporations. It is the corporations. So here's another example of just outright complete, like these people that are stuck to their party, they're just going to do anything to support their party. They're on the left or they're on the right, and it doesn't matter what the left party does or the right party does. They will just keep barreling ahead, even though they look like complete morons defending it, right? Complete morons. It's like when the left, doubled down with 2 masks. Do you guys remember that? Like weeks before, Fauci had said, you don't need a mask at all. And then, as soon as they said, you got to wear a mask, we see people wearing 2 masks. Like they can't get enough of it, I can't get enough of my side. I'm going to do everything my side says. I'm going to do it so good that I'm going to be the best sider there is. What is wrong with you? You're making yourself look like an idiot. And people do it on the right too. They refuse to acknowledge Trump's flaws. And one of those flaws even being, that he still has not really acknowledged the adverse events that are caused by the vaccine, right? The terrible side effects from the vaccine. Like, I can't just stick my head in the sand and go, oh, I love Trump, so I don't even want to talk about that. No, that's wrong. What is it? What is it that keeps him from acknowledging that? I have my own theories. I actually think it's a really good chance that the same thing is kind of happening. Like yesterday, I talked about Mark Hyman, right? Mark Hyman, he's the natural doctor. He's, I explained how he said absolutely nothing about the vaccines through COVID. It was almost comical because we are in the throes of a health event that we have never experienced ever before. And Mark Hyman is in health. He didn't say anything. It was almost comical how much he avoided that subject. And come to find out, he's heavily invested in specific businesses. And I started to wonder, do these guys sign an NDA? And that was my thought with Trump. Did he sign some kind of NDA with Project Warp Speed that he could never say anything disparaging about it? And if he did, he would suffer legal consequences. That's kind of what I'm thinking may happen with some of these, investors that invest in companies, like maybe even Casey and Callie Means, some of their tech company that tracks and is into biometrics. Maybe there's a clause in their company where they can't disparage technology and the technology that maybe their company maybe even invested in. So perhaps that's why we see this glaringly obvious, not denial or avoidance, I guess you could say, this glaringly obvious avoidance of the mRNA technology from these people. That's the only way I can explain it because it's all business here. Anyway, here's a moronic moment for you. Like literally a moronic moment. A reporter talking to Elon Musk. Let's look at the clip and then we'll talk about it. Here it is.
Not otherwise. And so now I'm in this absurd situation where I was born in South Africa but cannot get a license to operate in Starlink because I'm not black.
Well, it looks
Does
like
that
that's
seem
about
right to
it
you?
looks
Does
like
that
that
seem right to you?
looks like that's about to change.
I just asked you a question. Please answer. Does that seem right to you?
Well, those rules were designed to bring
yes or no?
those rules were designed to bring about an era of more economic equality in South Africa, and it looks like the government has found a way around those rules for you.
I asked you a question.
This is your interview. Everyone wants to hear from you.
I asked you a question. Yes or no?
Not
Racist
for me.
laws, yes or no?
Not for me to answer. I have got a question for you about your government work, though, and the amount of savings.
Why do you like racist laws?
This is not for me to answer. Come on.
Yes, it is.
Now, you wouldn't be trying to dodge a question.
You have to
that
ask
is
a question.
difficult for you
That's
to
my
answer.
question. No, you.
Perfect. Just perfect. obviously what she's doing there is dodging the question. That's what you call a bot, everybody. That's what you call a bot. Somebody who is so on message because her paycheck is tied to her side and her agenda and her business ties or her company's business ties that she can't even declare that racism is bad. Talk about looking like a moron on live TV because your mind is like you're a bot. You just have to adhere to your side of the agenda. It's all about you and your agenda, your side. And so you're willing to dodge questions there. You're willing to not even be a real human being and acknowledge that discriminating against somebody because of the color of their skin is disgusting. Period. It doesn't matter if you're white or black or brown. It doesn't matter. If you are judging somebody by the color of their skin, you're disgusting. She can't even do it. She can't even bring herself to say, oh yeah, that's wrong. Because it is wrong. Unreal. But toe the party line because who's making her paycheck? Who's cutting a paycheck? Somebody who doesn't like Elon Musk, I can guarantee that. Stay tuned, everybody. This is Naturally Inspired Radio. I'm Tammy Cuthbert-Garcia. We'll be right back.
Have you heard about the powerful health benefits of medicinal mushrooms? Take our preferred medicinal mushrooms for immune support, gut health, antioxidant properties, stress and sleep, heart health, liver protection, blood sugar regulation, cholesterol reduction, anti-cancer properties, cognitive health, mood and mental health, heart health, antibacterial and antiviral, and so much more. Available in easy-to-take capsules, great-tasting gummies, and our special coffee blends.
Since adding these mushrooms to my daily routine, my cholesterol levels have improved, and I feel more confident about my heart health.
Taking one of these blends before bed has been a game changer. I fall asleep faster and I wake up feeling truly refreshed.
Learn how to get free shipping and how to join our monthly mushroom call. Text Tammy with questions or to order 720-303-8868. Visit naturallyinspiredradio.com/mushroom.
Are you ready to take your health to the next level? Join us for the 2025 Naturally Inspired Health Summit, the #1 rated health event in Colorado. Saturday, June 28th, 8 a.m. to 10 p.m. Sunday, June 29th, 8 a.m. to 6 p.m. 18 powerhouse speakers, 55 business booths, 25 breakout sessions, Sunday's farmers market with 20 vendors, Saturday evening networking and dance party.
The Naturally Inspired Health Summit was life-changing. The energy, the speakers, and the connections I made were incredible. I left with real, actionable solutions for my health and business.
This event was exactly what I needed. So many inspiring speakers like Dr. Peter McCullough, Dr. Lee Merritt, Dr. Carrie Made, and so many more. Amazing products and a community that truly cares about real health solutions.
High energy, positive community, real solutions for health. Get your tickets now. Want to participate and show your message? Visit naturallyinspiredhealthsummit.com or text 720-764-7448.
Are you ready to stay informed and inspired 24/7? Tune in to Naturally Inspired Radio anytime, anywhere. Visit naturallyinspiredradio.com or for the best mobile experience, download the Simple Radio app. Search for Naturally Inspired Radio. Save it to your favorites and click on the graphic to listen instantly. Catch live broadcasts, revisit past shows, dive into long-form podcast conversations, and discover rare, censored presentations by leading health experts. Plus, explore documentaries uncovering the hidden truths of occult and esoteric history. Stay connected, stay inspired. Naturally Inspired Radio is always at your fingertips. Tune in now. For health questions or comments, text Tammy directly at 720-303-8868. naturallyinspiredradio.com.
Clinical studies show up to a 75% reduction in wrinkle depth and 422% improvement in skin elasticity in just 12 weeks when they use the key ingredients in my skincare system. This is a clean, non-toxic, botanical-based skincare system packed with antioxidants, peptides, which I've said is my favorite. We're going to talk a lot about peptides tomorrow when our friend Terry Fox comes on, and a natural plant extracts. So this product stimulates collagen production. It restores the skin's moisture barrier. It reduces inflammation and fine lines. It helps to get smoother, firmer, brighter looking skin, all naturally, which of course is what I love. If you would like to check out a skincare line that is no tox, just go to naturallyinspiredstore.com, click on the skincare system. If you have any questions at all, just text me 720-303-8868. I'm happy to answer them for you. And there is a way. You know, I see a lot of women getting sucked into these toxic ways of trying to preserve their youth. And again, I think we're not getting informed consent with those products. So, you know, ask questions. And of course, you know, seek out natural ways. That's what I've done. And I found this wonderful skincare line that I'm really happy with. So check it out, naturallyinspiredstore.com. I want to talk a little bit about the woke movement. Remember that? Can we say that this is in our rearview mirror now, the woke movement? Are we through it? Wasn't that something, you know, where basic common sense was just thrown out the window? And it's super sad because the whole woke movement was about dividing people. It was about taking advantage and amping up the emotionally vulnerable people and leading them into division and disruption for corporate gain. For corporate gain. When a country is in chaos, when people are, you know, fighting battles, right? In their minds, they're fighting a battle to fight for their rights. They're consumed with that issue. They're consumed with fighting a battle. And the benefit of that is that corporations and government combined, which is what we were living in and still are living in today, which is also known as fascism, they are able to, you know, put in regulations. They are able to use the collective thinking to offer a solution. And of course, that's their solution, right? It's their solution that just happens to line their pocketbooks. And so this woman in this clip with Elon Musk, she can't even bring herself to admit that, you know, we should live in a free world where everybody's judged based on their character, not on the color of their skin. Now, on its face, you would think anybody would agree with that. It's 2025, right? It's 2025. Everybody should be judged on the content of their character and not the color of their skin. Pretty basic. But not to her. Not to the woke mind virus that allows you to navigate the most disgusting of actions just to stay true to the fight. Just to stay true to that side. We saw, it's totally fine to butcher up little children, cut off their genitals, have them confused about their gender, all of this stuff, having half-naked men walking in a pride parade with in a leather thong in front of children. Totally fine. Totally fine because the fight, right? It's not okay for half-naked men, gay or straight. It's not okay for any naked adult, half-naked, naked, half-dressed adult to be around children. It doesn't matter what your sexual preference is. This is the thing that I really get fired up about when it comes to this whole transgender LGBTQ stuff. It's fine, multiple times I've been in a Target where I have seen a trans person, a guy dressed up as a girl in a super short skirt. Now, let me tell you, if I wore a super short skirt like that to any of my jobs throughout the years, I would have been sent home. How come he doesn't get sent home? How come he's not being sent home? My daughter had a homeschool program that she used to go to, and by golly, she wore a tank top one day, and they sent her home to change because they're not allowed to show that much skin, a tank top, okay? But the transgender student can have a belly shirt on and expose their whole midriff because he's a dude dressed like a woman. So, if you want to be a woman, then you're going to have to live by woman rules. You don't get to invent your own set of rules if you're going to pretend to be a woman. Like, which is it? Because you can't have both. So now we have a separate set. Oh, you're a biological woman, so your skirt's too short. Oh, but you're a woman. You're a woman. Even though you have a penis, you're a woman, and you can wear whatever you want. No. Welcome to womanhood. You know what it's like here? You have other women judging you. You have other women that will say, oh, she's dressed like a, what, or her makeup's too heavy or whatever. No. That's the real woman world. But these guys, they come in on the scene. I'm a woman. And we're supposed to be like, oh, wow, your fantastic green eyeshadow that goes above your eyebrows looks beautiful today. I'm sorry. Women are ruthless to each other. They are ruthless sometimes. And so, hey, if you want to join the club, you better be prepared for the fire. Because that's what it's like here. And so this separate group of, the separate group of womanhood that are actually men, gosh, it gets so confusing in your head, when you try to figure all that stuff out. It's like, as a guy dressed as a woman, we're not allowed to say he's a guy. We've got to say he's a woman, but he lives by not woman rules. Doesn't live by women rules. That ain't woman culture, You get to wear a bustier and a skirt that shows your butt off. And, that's totally fine because they're trans. I can't keep up with all these rules. I can't keep up with them. But we're supposed to put all common sense aside because this special group gets these special rights. The whole thing was designed to create division, to create infighting, so that these corporations could bring in their agendas and offer you the solution. And it was the emotionally vulnerable that latched right on. It was a sad time. When we come back, I have several health stories for you and a naturally inspired moment. Stay tuned.
Are you ready to take your health to the next level? Join us for the 2025 Naturally Inspired Health Summit, the #1 rated health event in Colorado. Saturday, June 28th, 8 a.m. to 10 p.m. Sunday, June 29th, 8 a.m. to 6 p.m. 18 powerhouse speakers, 55 business booths, 25 breakout sessions, Sunday's farmers market with 20 vendors, Saturday evening networking and dance party.
The Naturally Inspired Health Summit was life-changing. The energy, the speakers, and the connections I made were incredible. I left with real, actionable solutions for my health and business.
This event was exactly what I needed. So many inspiring speakers like Dr. Peter McCullough, Dr. Lee Merritt, Dr. Carrie Made, and so many more. Amazing products and a community that truly cares about real health solutions.
High energy, positive community, real solutions for health. Get your tickets now. Want to participate and show your message? Visit naturallyinspiredhealthsummit.com or text 720-764-7448.
Did you know that medicinal mushrooms are excellent for pets? Take our preferred pet health products for joint health, skin health, antioxidant protection, sow health, anti-aging benefits, gut health, liver support, cholesterol regulation, blood pressure support, brain health, anxiety relief, respiratory health, endurance and strength, anti-fatigue, and much more. Available in easy-to-take treats, great-tasting gravy, and our pet food blends.
Since adding mushroom dog food to my dog's diet, I've noticed a huge improvement in his energy and coat health. He's like a puppy again, even at 10 years old.
After starting my care on mushroom super sauce, her immune health and digestion have noticeably improved. She's more playful, and her fur has never looked shinier.
Learn how to get free shipping and how to join our monthly mushroom call. Text Tammy with questions or to order at 720-303-8868. Visit naturallyinspiredradio.com/mushroom. That's naturallyinspiredradio.com/mushroom.
Are you ready to stay informed and inspired 24/7? Tune in to Naturally Inspired Radio anytime, anywhere. Visit naturallyinspiredradio.com, or for the best mobile experience, download the Simple Radio app. Search for Naturally Inspired Radio, save it to your favorites, and click on the graphic to listen instantly. Catch live broadcasts, revisit past shows, dive into long-form podcast conversations, and discover rare, censored presentations by leading health experts. Plus, explore documentaries uncovering the hidden truths of occult and esoteric history. Stay connected, stay inspired. Naturally Inspired Radio is always at your fingertips. Tune in now. For health questions or comments, text Tammy directly at 720-303-8868. naturallyinspiredradio.com.
I just want to say, do you see how absurd it is that we turned on each other during the whole woke movement and that so many relationships got ruined during that time? It's just absurd. All for what? The benefit of some corporations, that have come together under a specific agenda to advance their business plan. It's just, we got to stop buying into it. We got to. Did you know that most people only have a fraction or use a fraction of their body's healing potential because they don't have the right roadmap? One conversation can shift this entire way of thinking about your health. A one-on-one personalized session with me is a judgment-free conversation about your current health. We talk about the environment you're living in. We talk about nutrition. We talk a little bit about physical mobility and even emotional aspects. So what it's designed to do is to get to identify gaps and stress points in your lifestyle so you can get clarity. We pick 3 health priorities that we're going to focus on. And you'll leave with a simple, actionable plan, whether you want more energy, whether you want better sleep, better nutrition, weight loss, emotional balance, whatever it is that you're seeking. This assessment helps you with that. It's 30 minutes with me. And then we have a wonderful Tuesday night call, which we call our weekly wellness workshop, where a community plugs in. And we discuss things like last night's topic was gut health. So we went into supporting your gut health, why you need to know about your gut health. And then we do a little question and answer, right? So it's a real community because optimum health is a journey. And doing that with a community is so much easier than going at it alone. So if you're interested and you want to set up a free assessment with me, go to naturallyinspiredstore.com and get yours scheduled. Or if you have questions about it, just text me 720-303-8868. And I'm happy to get you started and answer any questions you might have. For today's Naturally Inspired moment, this is a good one, you guys. Are you ready for this? So good. I want to talk today about the fact that people will never rise above their own opinion of themselves. This could be a game changer for a lot of people. So, what is your opinion of yourself? Because if you have a low opinion of yourself, you're never going to be able to rise above that and achieve the things that you really want to achieve. You have to learn how to raise your own opinion of yourself if you want better results in your life. And so I've come up with a few ways to raise your opinion of yourself. And why shouldn't you? You know, I think a lot of people think, well, we've been told, oh, you know, don't brag on yourself, or you need to be humble, or who do you think you are? That's what we've kind of been beaten down with. But it turns out, if you don't have a high opinion of yourself, then you're way less likely to achieve the things that you want to achieve. In order to achieve the things you dream about, you got to have a high opinion of yourself. And it's okay to have a high opinion of yourself. So let's work on it today a little bit. Here we go. Number one, a great way to have a high opinion of yourself is to keep your word. Keep your word. Do not speak it unless you know for certain that you can follow through with it. Now, this is a tendency a lot of people have. You know, they'll say, oh, yeah, I want to do this or I want to do that. And, you know, they don't think much of it. But every time you speak something and then you're not able to follow through with it, it takes a little piece of your self-respect away. And that tape will play over and over in your mind. Oh, yeah, I remember when I said I was going to do that and I didn't do it. And that'll give you a low opinion of yourself if you do that too much. Okay? So keep your word. Keep your word. And in this world where the talking is incessant and everybody is just talking and, you know, virtue signaling and telling everybody, you know, I'm so great on social media. Meanwhile, they have a low opinion of themselves. They're actually just trying to create the feeling of a higher opinion. It's not real. We really need we need real high opinions of ourselves. And that's based on our own actions. Number two, if you have a story in your head that you keep telling yourself that gives you a low opinion of yourself, you gotta resolve that story. You know, so if you did something and you failed, or, you know, it didn't come out right, and you find yourself playing that tape over and over again. And most of us have multiple tapes, right? Like, oh, why did I say that? Oh, why did I do it that way? Oh, I should have done that. And we can torture ourselves with those tapes for years. And a lot of us do. You got to change the story. You got to forgive yourself, and you got to understand that you're doing the best that you can. And you're coping with a lot of things. And so you got to change the story from, you know, I didn't do this or I didn't do that, to, I see why now. You know, I see why I didn't follow through on that. And next time I have the opportunity, I am going to follow through on that. Change the story. Number three, do not compare your results to other people. Oh, my Lord, do not compare yourself to other people. Do not. We all didn't start in the same place, right? Some of us started at this spot. We had, you know, these things going for us, and we started over here. Some of us started way back here. Some of us, you know, started way ahead, but we tripped and fell. You know what I mean? Like, everybody's different. You cannot compare yourself to anybody. Compare yourself to yourself yesterday. And that's a model I find works really good for me. I just think, well, what did I do yesterday? Am I a little bit better today? Am I getting a little bit better every day? That's the only comparison that is a true comparison. Do not compare yourself to other people. Number 4, live aligned with what you believe is right. So, you know, everybody knows when they're doing something wrong. that little voice goes, don't do it, don't do it. But sometimes we ignore it, right? And situations get the best of us. I still fully believe that even as adults, we're subject to peer pressure. That was demonstrated through COVID. I knew people that absolutely did not believe in the mask whatsoever. They knew it was a farce. They knew it was a lie, but they wore the mask anyway. And why did they do that? Peer pressure. They didn't want to be the one that didn't belong in the group. So they just did it. That's tough. I don't function that way myself. I can't do that. And I certainly was ostracized for not conforming. That's for sure. But still, I feel better about it. I do not regret it one bit. Not one bit, because I was true to myself. I was true to what I knew was right. And when we allow ourselves to be influenced and allow ourselves to be taken away from what we know is right, what happens? A little bit of self-respect goes poof, gone. And then our opinion of ourselves goes down. So you can get into real dissonance, right? When you aren't living what you know is right. So do yourself a favor and just do what's right, because it'll end up better off for you. Number 5, forgive. And you've probably heard this before. You forgive for yourself, right? You don't forgive for other people. And it doesn't give whoever you're forgiving a pass. They don't get a free pass when you forgive them. You win when you forgive them. I forgive you. I know who you are now. And we can move on. It doesn't mean that you have to continue to put up with their toxic behavior, their unreasonable behavior, right? You don't need to take their abuse, but you can frame it in a way where you say, they're doing the best they can right now. Maybe they're emotionally vulnerable, right? They're emotionally vulnerable and they can't respond reasonably. So forgive them and leave it at that. Don't harbor and play the tape over and over. Well, they did this and they did that and this and that and this and that. That does you no good. Takes a little piece of your self-respect away, and it lowers the opinion of yourself. I got 2 more for you when we come back after the break. You're listening to Naturally Inspired Radio. I'm Tammy Cuthbert-Garcia. I'm so glad you're here. We'll be right back.
Are you ready to stay informed and inspired 24/7? Tune in to Naturally Inspired Radio anytime, anywhere. Visit naturallyinspiredradio.com, or for the best mobile experience, download the Simple Radio app. Search for Naturally Inspired Radio. Save it to your favorites, and click on the graphic to listen instantly. Catch live broadcasts, revisit past shows, dive into long-form podcast conversations, and discover rare, censored presentations by leading health experts. Plus, explore documentaries uncovering the hidden truths of occult and esoteric history. Stay connected, stay inspired. Naturally Inspired Radio is always at your fingertips. Tune in now. For health questions or comments, text Tammy directly at 720-303-8868. naturallyinspiredradio.com.
Nearly 40% of Americans struggle with a $400 emergency expense. An extra $300 a month can be the difference between stability and financial stress.
Are you feeling the pinch of rising expenses? Imagine what an extra $300, $500, or even $1,000 a month can do for you. Introducing a simple 3-step system designed to help you create a steady income without the overwhelm. Step 1, follow our easy-to-use plan. Step 2, take small, consistent actions. Step 3, stay motivated with weekly coaching designed to keep you on track and moving forward. Whether you're saving for a family vacation, paying down debt, or just looking for breathing room, this system is for you. You don't need special skills, just the desire to make change. Join a growing community of success stories today. Visit simpleincome.info or text 720-764-7448.
Are you ready to take your health to the next level? Join us for the 2025 Naturally Inspired Health Summit, the #1 rated health event in Colorado. Saturday, June 28th, 8 a.m. to 10 p.m. Sunday, June 29th, 8 a.m. to 6 p.m. 18 powerhouse speakers, 55 business booths, 25 breakout sessions, Sunday's farmers market with 20 vendors, Saturday evening networking and dance party.
The Naturally Inspired Health Summit was life-changing. The energy, the speakers, and the connections I made were incredible. I left with real, actionable solutions for my health and business.
This event was exactly what I needed. So many inspiring speakers like Dr. Peter McCullough, Dr. Lee Merritt, Dr. Carrie Made, and so many more. Amazing products and a community that truly cares about real health solutions.
High energy, positive community, real solutions for health. Get your tickets now. Want to participate and show your message? Visit naturallyinspiredhealthsummit.com or text 720-764-7448.
Did you know that carbon-60 is 172 times more powerful than vitamin C as an antioxidant? This powerful molecule is scientifically proven to neutralize free radicals, reduce inflammation, and promote optimal energy. How does it work? C60 fights oxidative stress, the root cause of aging and disease, helping your body repair and rejuvenate naturally. It's like giving your cells a protective shield. Here's what our listeners have to say. Mike from Denver says,
C60 in olive oil has been perfect as my daily detox. I feel cleaner, lighter, and more energized every day.
Sarah from Houston says,
The C60 topical spray is incredible. I apply it to sore joints and within minutes, the pain and inflammation starts to fade.
order now at c60.com or call 720-600-6040. Use coupon code TAMMY, T-A-M-M-Y, for a special discount.
Did you know 80% of beef consumed in the U.S. comes from 4 major corporations, much of it being imported or processed with additives? Want real beef from a real farm? Pumpkin Creek Ranch does things the right way. Local, grass-fed, dry-aged beef with no additives, no shortcuts, just honest quality.
Pumpkin Creek Ranch beef is the real deal. I love knowing exactly where my meat comes from. No additives, no nonsense, just honest quality beef.
Best beef I've ever had. You can taste the difference. Rich, tender, and packed with real flavor. Plus, supporting a local ranch makes it even better.
From pasture to plate, they raise their cattle with care so you can get rich, natural flavor that only real ranching can provide. Stock your freezer with premium beef you can trust. Visit pumpkincreekranchco.com or call 970-658-0176.
Did you know that medicinal mushrooms are excellent for pets? Take our preferred pet health products for joint health, skin health, antioxidant protection, cell health, anti-aging benefits, gut health, liver support, cholesterol regulation, blood pressure support, brain health, anxiety relief, respiratory health, endurance and strength, anti-fatigue, and much more. Available in easy-to-take treats, great-tasting gravy, and our pet food blends.
Since adding mushroom dog food to my dog's diet, I've noticed a huge improvement in his energy and coat health. He's like a puppy again, even at 10 years old.
After starting my care on mushroom super sauce, her immune health and digestion have noticeably improved. She's more playful, and her fur has never looked shinier.
Learn how to get free shipping and how to join our monthly mushroom call. Text Tammy with questions or to order at 720-303-8868. Visit naturallyinspiredradio.com/mushroom. That's naturallyinspiredradio.com/mushroom.
Are you ready to stay informed and inspired 24/7? Tune in to Naturally Inspired Radio anytime, anywhere. Visit naturallyinspiredradio.com or for the best mobile experience, download the Simple Radio app. Search for Naturally Inspired Radio, save it to your favorites, and click on the graphic to listen instantly. Catch live broadcasts, revisit past shows, dive into long-form podcast conversations, and discover rare, censored presentations by leading health experts. Plus, explore documentaries uncovering the hidden truths of occult and esoteric history. Stay connected, stay inspired. Naturally Inspired Radio is always at your fingertips. Tune in now. For health questions or comments, text Tammy directly at 720-303-8868. NaturallyInspiredRadio.com.
The information and other content provided on this radio show or in any linked materials is provided for informational purposes only, not intended and should not be construed as medical advice. It is not a substitute for professional medical advice, diagnosis, or treatment.
Welcome back to hour 2 of Naturally Inspired Radio. So glad you're joining me today. I am so excited because it's been a little bit of time now since we switched over to our new product line, and I'm starting to hear from you. I'm starting to hear your testimonies. So the Cellular Reset, this is from Dorothy on my text line. The Cellular Reset gave me the reset my body truly needed. My energy came back, brain fog lifted, and I felt lighter and more clear-headed within days of taking it. It wasn't just a cleanse. It's helped me heal at a deeper level. I'm so grateful for the transformation. I appreciate your kind words, Dorothy. That's a wonderful testimony. It is not just a one-shot wonder, right? It really is about taking control of your health. It's about nutrition. It's about movement. And I know Dorothy has been working hard doing all of the things. And I think the Cellular Reset, boom, helped her just kind of get that extra edge. So let me explain to you what the Cellular Reset is. Imagine your body is like a city, and every building, every street, every light, that's powered by these little energy factories called cells. Inside those cells, there's a power plant. That's the mitochondria. We talk about metabolic health on here all the time. It is the thing to be watching when it comes to dis-ease in your body. So that mitochondria is what keeps your city alive and running. And over time, like in a city, kind of traffic gets worse. You get piles of trash that pile up. Fires break out. That's inflammation. Pollution fills the air. That's kind of oxidative stress. And your city's blueprint, your DNA in your body, it starts to break down. So what the Cellular Reset does with its powerful polyphenols is it comes in and it sends up a cleanup crew. And smart workers with special tools go around and boop, 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 they try to clean everything up. And that's what the Cellular Reset does. It clears out the trash. That's the oxidative stress, puts out fires. That's the inflammation. It repairs your blueprint, repairs your DNA, and restores power to your energy plants, which is your mitochondria. And within a short period of time, you're going to start feeling smoother. Like your body's running smoother and your lights are brighter and you feel younger. That's the power of the Cellular Reset. So if you'd like to try the Cellular Reset, you can take it 3 ways. Of course, you know me. I love my little 3 o'clock mocktail hour. So I prefer the liquid. It's just 1 teaspoon. I put it with a little soda water and I enjoy it every day. And you can also take it in liquid gels. So you just, some people don't want to mess with the drink, so they can just swallow it in the form of gel. And then they have these delicious gummies. And that's a tasty alternative for people who prefer chewable supplementation. So all forms are designed to deliver the same potent blend of polyphenols and to support your health. You can get your Cellular Reset today. All you got to do is go to naturallyinspiredstore.com, click on the daily Cellular Reset. And yesterday we had a fantastic wellness workshop. If you're not a customer yet, and you want, you feel like, man, I really need to do something about my health, this is the place for you. This is a weekly workshop on Tuesday nights at 7 o'clock. We hop on Zoom. The tone is fun, but we're learning stuff and we're working through things together. It's truly a support, a community support session. And so if you want to, that's what we did last night. Last night we talked about gut health. So in honor of gut health, and I don't know, Jason's probably gonna get mad at me for saying this. I already reached out to some people that were on the call to give them this offer, so they won't be mad. But I want to extend it to you because maybe you just need a little bit of motivation to get going. And so here's your motivation. I hope this is okay, Jay. I'm going to send you a free 15 serving of Good Brew. You know our Good Brew, right? Gabe comes on here. Everybody raves about Good Brew, right? It's so awesome. Probiotic, a prebiotic in one. It's changed people's digestive health. Let me tell you, I hear all about it. So does Gabe. And so does Gabe. It is working. It is working for all of you. We know it. So if you want to try the cellular reset, or if you want to try the collagen, those are both, wonderful strategies for gut health. I'm going to send you a free 15 serving of the Good Brew, but you got to act today because I don't have a lot of Good Brew. So I'm kind of like, I'm going to have to cut it off at midnight tonight. So if you want to try the cellular reset, now's the time because you'll get a free 15 serving of Good Brew. So go to Naturally Inspired Store and click on the daily cellular reset and get your cellular reset ordered today. And you'll get 15 servings free of Good Brew. And let me tell you, you're going to be feeling good after both of those things. That's for sure. I want to get back to the naturally inspired moment because I had two other things and I don't want to cheat you. We left off on forgive, right? How important it is to forgive so that you don't ruminate on the scenario, whatever happened, whatever fired you up about people, right? Let it go, right? Forgive. Understand that they're operating out of their life experience and they are operating from a different life experience than yours. And so they respond and react differently. Okay, forgiven, right? Don't keep playing. Don't keep ruminating on that. Number 6, you are not defined by your circumstances. So whatever you did, whatever happened, whatever, wherever, how you grew up, all of that stuff, it is not your identity. And it's really important, especially in health, that you don't make your identity your diagnosis, right? Your identity isn't that you grew up with no dad. That's not you. That's your circumstance, right? Your identity is not lupus. That's your circumstance. So it's really important that you keep your identity separate from your circumstances, because when you have negative circumstances, they might lead to a low opinion of yourself. And we can't have that. You cannot have a low opinion of yourself. 1, you don't need to. It's unnecessary. And 2, it's going to keep you from achieving and doing and being all that you want to be. And how does that help anybody? It doesn't. Number 7 is you teach people how to treat you. So when you don't allow people to disrespect you, you don't have to, you're every time you tolerate somebody disrespecting you, every time you tolerate, toxic behavior or things that make you feel bad, you're lowering your own opinion of yourself. Because you walk away from that situation and you think, they shouldn't have said that to me. They shouldn't have done that. They shouldn't have. And you didn't express it. And so then you start looking at yourself like, oh, I'm not tough enough. I'm weak. I should have done this, or I should have done, you should have. And that's what you're left with. So I'm not saying fight everybody. That's not what I'm saying. But I am saying, express yourself. And allow your voice to be heard because you deserve that. You deserve that. And you're teaching people how to treat you. So if you have someone in your life that continually disrespects you and you don't stand up for yourself and say, listen, I'm not okay with you talking to me this way. I don't allow people to talk to me this way. They don't know what to say. It'll take them off guard, but it often jars them enough where they're like, oh my gosh, I apologize. I didn't mean to talk to you that way. Try it. It works. You don't have to get violent. You don't have to get spazzy or anything like that. You just look them straight in the eye and you say, I don't allow people to talk to me like that. And if they don't apologize, then walk away, because they don't deserve your time. They don't deserve your time. And, that can be tough to do, but I'm telling you, the dividends of doing that are amazing, because you will raise your own opinion of yourself. And that is so important, because people will never rise above their own opinion of themselves. So check in today and ask yourself, what's my opinion of myself? Right? What's my opinion of myself? What do I really think of myself? What's my opinion? And if you're not there, if it's not a high opinion, then that's a good place, a good indicator that you need to do some work to get your opinion up about yourself. And then you can start working towards some of your goals and feel a lot more confident doing that. All right, let's get back to some health stories here, because I've got some good ones. My story here with Jay Bhattacharya, of course, he is the new director of the NIH. This one just made me giggle a little bit, just made me giggle. So I had to share it with you. Here it is. This is what happened at the NIH today. Jay Bhattacharya giving a speech. Here it is.
Possible. There's a lot of controversy over this. I'm sure there's folks in the room who disagree with me. But it's possible that the pandemic was caused by research conducted by human beings. And it's also possible that the NIH partly sponsored that research. And if that's true, it's nice to have free speech. Welcome, you guys. If it's true that we sponsored research, that caused a pandemic, and if you look at polls of the American people, that's what most people believe. And I've looked at the scientific evidence, I believe it. What we have to do is make sure that we do not engage in research that's any risk of posing any risk to human population.
Well, the video was a little choppy there, but it did show people actually got up and left when he made that declaration that the COVID-19 came from a laboratory. It came from research. And do you see all those little Fauci followers? All those little loyal, I'm sticking to my side no matter what. I'm sticking to my side no matter what. They get up and they leave. How dare you imply? Even though every single little bit of evidence shows they just can't take it. They can't take it, because what am I if my God, my Fauci, my Anthony Fauci, my leader, my mentor, my savior was lying? Who am I then? Because I believed him. They can't do it. They're in dissonance. So they have to ignore the blatantly obvious evidence. They have to ignore it because they're emotionally vulnerable. Can't take it, man. They can't take it. Bizarre. Absolutely bizarre. But that's what happens, I think, when people are psyoped and they are put to the test with their emotions. You're listening to Naturally Inspired Radio. I'm Tammy Cuthbert-Garcia. Stay tuned, everybody, because we'll be right back.
Have you heard about the powerful health benefits of medicinal mushrooms? Take our preferred medicinal mushrooms for immune support, gut health, antioxidant properties, stress and sleep, heart health, liver protection, blood sugar regulation, cholesterol reduction, anti-cancer properties, cognitive health, mood and mental health, heart health, antibacterial and antiviral, and so much more. Available in easy-to-take capsules, great-tasting gummies, and our special coffee blends.
Since adding these mushrooms to my daily routine, my cholesterol levels have improved, and I feel more confident about my heart health.
Taking one of these blends before bed has been a game changer. I fall asleep faster and I wake up feeling truly refreshed.
Learn how to get free shipping and how to join our monthly mushroom call. Text Tammy with questions or to order 720-303-8868. Visit naturallyinspiredradio.com/mushroom.
Did you know that 60% of American adults live with at least one chronic disease? At Inside Health, they take the mystery out of wellness with extensive testing and customized lifestyle plans, all from the comfort of your home.
I've struggled with low energy and digestive issues for years, and no doctor could give me real answers. Working with Inside Health was a game changer.
As a mom, I'm always putting my family's health first, but I was neglecting my own. Inside Health changed that. I started feeling better almost immediately.
Inside Health services help you and your family achieve whole body health with non-invasive personalized care. They listen to your concerns and health goals. They will pinpoint areas where your body needs support. They will create a simple, actionable plan just for you. Call them today, 970-685-8060, or visit InsideHealth.com.
Did you know that carbon 60 is 172 times more powerful than vitamin C as an antioxidant? This powerful molecule is scientifically proven to neutralize free radicals, reduce inflammation, and promote optimal energy. How does it work? C60 fights oxidative stress, the root cause of aging and disease, helping your body repair and rejuvenate naturally. It's like giving your cells a protective shield. Here's what our listeners have to say. Mike from Denver says,
C60 in olive oil has been perfect as my daily detox. I feel cleaner, lighter, and more energized every day.
Sarah from Houston says,
The C60 topical spray is incredible. I apply it to sore joints, and within minutes, the pain and inflammation starts to fade.
Order now at c60.com or call 720-600-6040. Use coupon code TAMMY, TAMMY, for a special.
I want to shout out in the chat, Power Path, Rowdy Iron, Seabridge, Black Dingo, Mike Cullen, It's Common Sense. Thank you so much for being active in the chat. You keep Jason busy while we're doing the show here and having a good time. He's always having a good time in the chat during the show. So thank you so much for participating. And the thousands other that are listeners, we're so grateful for you tuning in each and every day. Really, you are taking part in changing the culture of healthcare in this country. And that's an awesome challenge. And so we're grateful that you're here. I want to tell you about my children's book, a beautifully illustrated children's book that follows Rosa the cat. She's our furry little guide here at 1890 Homestead. She takes young readers through the pages of the book, through an educational adventure on life on a regenerative farm. And kids learn how animals, plants, and people all work together in harmony with nature. It teaches real concepts to kids, so they get an understanding of soil health, animal care, and natural living. It sparks curiosity about sustainable food, responsibility when it comes to food, and where our meals are coming from. It makes farm life fun and easy to understand, all through the eyes of Rosa, our little clever cat. So it encourages kids to appreciate nature and healthy habits. It supports family connection through story time and meaningful conversations. It's a perfect gift for parents, grandparents, homeschoolers, or nature-loving classrooms. So if you'd like to order your copy today, go to naturallyinspiredstore.com. It's $29 for a hardback copy, and you get a digital PDF immediately. And so you can start sharing that with your little one. And then when the hard copy books come in, we'll send them out immediately. We're a few weeks out from printing, so I think it's great that we can offer you the PDF so that you can start, building a little curiosity with your little one. And then when the books come in, boom, you'll be the first to have them delivered straight to your door. So order your copy today, naturallyinspiredstore.com. If you have questions about it, or if you're thinking, oh, I'd like to get this for my whole, Sunday school group or my whole, homeschool pod or whatever, just text me, 720-303-8868. We'd love to connect a new generation to nature. Okay, The Who is, did you hear this? So 173 countries have adopted the pandemic treaty. Woo! That's like we dodged a bullet there, right? We dodged a bullet there. Thank God for Trump, because we'd still be in that thing, right? And here's the guy behind it. Let's pull up that picture, this beautiful picture I wanted to share with you, just so you could get a real sense of who's behind. The number one donor of the WHO right there, that guy. And this pandemic treaty is something else. So here's a story from the Seattle Times, actually. The WHO adopts a pandemic agreement after the chaos of COVID. Geneva, World Health Organization member countries on Tuesday approved an agreement to better prevent, prepare for and respond to future pandemics in the wake of the devastation wrought by the coronavirus. Sustained applause echoed in a Geneva hall hosting the WHO's annual assembly as the measure debated and devised over 3 years passed without opposition. Yeah, because we left. We left. So there was nobody to oppose it because it got shot down how many times? They would rewrite it, different language, same plot. And couldn't get passed. The U.S., traditionally the top donor to the UN Health Agency, was not part of the final stages of pandemic agreement process after Trump announced a U.S. pullout. Thank you, Lord. Many world leaders offered words of support for the UN Health Agency and praised the show of multilateralism. Indian Prime Minister, speaking by video, congratulated the WHO and other member states, calling it an accord, a shared commitment to fight future pandemics with greater cooperation while building a healthy planet. While many supporters praised the historic deal, U.S. Health Secretary Robert F. Kennedy Jr. delivered a scathing critique of the UN Health Agency, saying the United States was working with unspecified, like-minded countries to improve the global health system and called on health ministers in others to join them. So, like many legacy institutions, the WHO has become mired in bureaucratic bloat, entrenched paradigms, conflicts of interest, and international power politics, Kennedy said from a video statement. We don't have to suffer the limits of moribund WHO. Let's create new institutions or revisit existing institutions that are clean, efficient, transparent, and accountable. The U.S. administration cited the WHO's mishandling of COVID-19, a failure to enact needed reforms, and China's demonstrated political influence over science and policy at the agency, the State Department said in an email. And it goes on. Here's a bit more. I urge the World Health Ministers and the WHO to take our withdrawal from the organization as a wake-up call, Kennedy said. It isn't that President Trump and I have lost interest in international cooperation. Not at all. We just want it to happen in a way that's fair and efficient and transparent for all the member states. And I would add, we have a constitution in this country. And this pandemic treaty is a treaty that essentially gives all control over to the WHO if there's ever a pandemic declared. And guess who gets to declare a pandemic? The WHO. You have to be crazy to get into that treaty, or you have to be aligned in your business interests, right? Because if you're aligned in your business interests and you give all the control over to a third, an entity, we didn't do it. It wasn't us that shut down the country. It was the WHO. Meanwhile, the WHO is acting as a regulatory agency that, toes the line for the corporate agenda. I feel sorry for all the countries that are in on that, because that is no way, shape, or form about your health, people. That is about complete capture, control, and mandates. That's what that's about. Yikes. You're listening to Naturally Inspired Radio. I'm Tammy Cuthbert-Garcia. Sounds like we might have Dean Lerwick joining us in a minute, hopefully. I know I promised you he'd be back. Stay tuned, everybody.
Have you heard about the powerful health benefits of medicinal mushrooms? Take our preferred medicinal mushrooms for immune support, gut health, antioxidant properties, stress and sleep, heart health, liver protection, blood sugar regulation, cholesterol reduction, anti-cancer properties, cognitive health, mood and mental health, heart health, antibacterial and antiviral, and so much more. Available in easy-to-take capsules, great-tasting gummies, and our special coffee blends.
Since adding these mushrooms to my daily routine, my cholesterol levels have improved, and I feel more confident about my heart health.
Taking one of these blends before bed has been a game changer. I fall asleep faster and I wake up feeling truly refreshed.
Learn how to get free shipping and how to join our monthly mushroom call. Text Tammy with questions or to order 720-303-8868. Visit naturallyinspiredradio.com/mushroom.
Are you ready to take your health to the next level? Join us for the 2025 Naturally Inspired Health Summit, the #1 rated health event in Colorado. Saturday, June 28th, 8 a.m. to 10 p.m. Sunday, June 29th, 8 a.m. to 6 p.m. 18 powerhouse speakers, 55 business booths, 25 breakout sessions. Sunday's farmers market with 20 vendors, Saturday evening networking and dance party.
The Naturally Inspired Health Summit was life-changing. The energy, the speakers, and the connections I made were incredible. I left with real, actionable solutions for my health and business.
This event was exactly what I needed. So many inspiring speakers like Dr. Peter McCullough, Dr. Lee Merritt, Dr. Carrie Made, and so many more. Amazing products and a community that truly cares about real health solutions.
High energy, positive community, real solutions for health. Get your tickets now. Want to participate and show your message? Visit naturallyinspiredhealthsummit.com or text 720-764-7448.
Are you ready to stay informed and inspired 24/7? Tune in to Naturally Inspired Radio anytime, anywhere. Visit naturallyinspiredradio.com, or for the best mobile experience, download the Simple Radio app. Search for Naturally Inspired Radio, save it to your favorites, and click on the graphic to listen instantly. Catch live broadcasts, revisit past shows, dive into long-form podcast conversations, and discover rare, censored presentations by leading health experts. Plus, explore documentaries uncovering the hidden truths of occult and esoteric history. Stay connected, stay inspired. Naturally Inspired Radio is always at your fingertips. Tune in now. For health questions or comments, text Tammy directly at 720-303-8868. naturallyinspiredradio.com.
It's going to be good to have Dean Lerwick on from Pumpkin Creek Ranch. We had a little technical difficulties, and then we were trying to figure out phone and all that stuff. I think we might have got it worked out now. Just so you know, every partner we feature here on Naturally Inspired Radio, we personally believe in and use. So if you're tired of health gimmicks and you want real tools from real people doing good work, you can connect to them at naturallyinspiredradio.com. That's where we feature Pumpkin Creek Ranch. Jason, is Dean on the line, or are we still a few minutes out? Can you give me he's on. Awesome. Dean Lerwick, welcome to Naturally Inspired Radio. I'm hoping I can hear you.
Hi, Tammy.
Yay. How's it going?
Well, pretty good. Pretty
Good. Good. Glad to hear it. Well, Dean, we have a lot of new listeners because we're streaming live now, of course. So we're not just on the radio, as you know, because that's why we had to change a little, a bunch of things technically here. But so I want to take this time to really introduce the audience because there's a lot of new people listening to Pumpkin Creek Ranch, who you guys are, and what you're up to. So what makes Pumpkin Creek Ranch grass-fed beef different from conventional beef that's found in the store, say?
Well, the main thing that makes it different is it is single source. We only raise or feed out the cattle that we raise ourselves. We're not buying cattle. So we can guarantee the source of cattle from the time they are born as calves on a ranch until they go to the slaughter facility. So there's definitely traceability there. The difference between that and what you might get in the grocery store is it's very difficult to trace where that animal is coming from. And certainly the grocery store and the USDA may be able to do it, but the individual is going to have some trouble. But if you want to know where your meat is coming from, every animal that we feed and take to slaughter is born and raised on our ranch.
Mm. Can you talk to me a little bit about the USA label? I know we've talked about this before, but I still think there's not the awareness that we need for people to understand that where they buy their beef from matters. That really getting to know your producer is your guarantee of your quality of beef. It's not about the label anymore. It is not about the label. This is a pay-to-play marketplace, and the labels don't mean a whole lot anymore. So when something's labeled USA beef, you see that in the grocery store sometimes, that little USA red, white, and blue sticker on the beef. Does that necessarily mean that cow has spent its whole life in the USA?
Not necessarily. The labels typically will have a slaughter facility number attached to them with the USDA. So that tells you where the meat was packaged. It may tell you where the animal was killed and slaughtered, but it is not going to tell you anything about the life of that animal. That animal could have been born in Mexico. It could have been born in Canada. It may have been born in the U.S. It could have spent part or all of its life over across international lines. You really don't know. That if it's important to you to understand where your beef is coming from, where your food is coming from, and so that you can have confidence in the way it was raised, then you have to go to a more direct source. And that's what we bring to the table here, is that every animal that we take to harvest is born in the U.S. Now, that USDA label, it gives you some confidence that at least the harvest facility was, according to what the USDA says is acceptable standards. But that's about it. That's about it.
Yesterday, we talked about growth hormone because there was a study that came out from USDA that it said only 13% of ranchers, producers of beef in the States are not using growth hormone. What do you think about that?
Well, I expected it to be a smaller amount than that. So the growth hormones, that mostly those implant, they're usually in the form of an implant that is placed beneath the skin of the ear of the animal. It's a low dose hormone, mainly given to steers, but also given to heifers or the female cattle as well, mainly to grow. When we castrate an animal, when we castrate a bull, usually that's done as a calf, we're taking away its main growth hormone, And so that slows the rate of conversion down. And so the animal has to eat more feed to gain the same amount of weight is typically what happens there. And so the implants, the growth hormones, the idea is that you're replacing what we took away when we castrated the animal. A lot of the European market, overseas markets just feed out bulls, but the American consumer doesn't prefer that flavor. That tends to have a different flavor, maybe a little bit stronger, maybe a little bit leaner meat. And so most animals that are not going to be kept for bulls to reproduce are castrated. So that's what the growth hormones are given for. Now, having said all of that, we do not use it. There was a time 15, 20 years ago that we were doing it. We stopped doing it because really, in order to get the biggest kick from that implant, it needs to be done as the animals are older. And so we would castrate these calves at birth, and then we wouldn't typically see them. They have to be gaining a certain weight per day, usually at least 2 pounds of gain per day, in order for that implant to do any good. And so we looked at it and said, well, most of the times those calves don't hit that kind of growth until late in the summer, early fall, when we're trying to wean them, and we don't need it. And so we quit doing it.
Got it. It's interesting that you said you thought that number would be smaller than that. I'm looking at the graph that I have from yesterday here on my phone, and this is straight from the USDA management practices on U.S. feedlots. And it's interesting because now that I look at it, it says 13.5%, and underneath it has a little kind of disclaimer that says claim of no hormone use. So
yeah,
I wonder what that means, because I didn't notice that before you said that.
Well, what that is they send out a survey, and those sorts of studies, they don't have the USDA official that's doing the study looking over their shoulder and they're at the side of the chute every day that an animal runs through and checking an ID to make sure that it's not being given an implant. That's just what is reported. And again, some of these things are difficult. We've talked before about what should our standard be for chemistry usage and things like that. And, zero detect was kind of the baseline is what we talked about. It's very difficult to prove whether or not an animal has had growth hormones throughout its life. Because if the hormone levels of an animal, a beef animal, especially when we're talking about female animals, as they go through their 28-day or 21-day cycle, depending on where they're at, it's usually 21 days on a cow, their reproductive cycle, their estrogen levels will climb dramatically and then drop. And so depending on where that animal is in that cycle, when they are taken to slaughter, that affects the amount of natural estrogen in the meat. And
got it.
So to detect that, even in a steer animal, those implants are degraded and they go away after a certain amount of time. And so you're really relying on the honesty
of the producer.
Yes.
We're going to go to break, but when we come back, I'm going to ask Dean about regenerative farming practices at Pumpkin Creek, why small batch beef is so important, and what role do animals play in the regenerative practices at Pumpkin Creek. I don't know if we'll get to all that, but we're going to try. Stay tuned, everybody. You're listening to Naturally Inspired Radio. We're with Dean Lerwick from pumpkincreekranchco.com. Visit there today. We'll be right back.
Are you ready to take your health to the next level? Join us for the 2025 Naturally Inspired Health Summit, the #1 rated health event in Colorado. Saturday, June 28th, 8 a.m. to 10 p.m. Sunday, June 29th, 8 a.m. to 6 p.m. 18 powerhouse speakers, 55 business booths, 25 breakout sessions, Sunday's farmers market with 20 vendors, Saturday evening networking and dance party.
The Naturally Inspired Health Summit was life-changing. The energy, the speakers, and the connections I made were incredible. I left with real, actionable solutions for my health and business.
This event was exactly what I needed. So many inspiring speakers like Dr. Peter McCullough, Dr. Lee Merritt, Dr. Carrie Made, and so many more. Amazing products and a community that truly cares about real health solutions.
High energy, positive community, real solutions for health. Get your tickets now. Want to participate and show your message? Visit naturallyinspiredhealthsummit.com or text 720-764-7448.
Did you know that medicinal mushrooms are excellent for pets? Take our preferred pet health products for joint health, skin health, antioxidant protection, sow health, anti-aging benefits, gut health, liver support, cholesterol regulation, blood pressure support, brain health, anxiety relief, respiratory health, endurance and strength, anti-fatigue, and much more. Available in easy-to-take treats, great tasting gravy, and our pet food blends.
Since adding mushroom dog food to my dog's diet, I've noticed a huge improvement in his energy and coat health. He's like a puppy again, even at 10 years old.
After starting my care on mushroom super sauce, her immune health and digestion have noticeably improved. She's more playful, and her fur has never looked shinier.
Learn how to get free shipping and how to join our monthly mushroom call. Text Tammy with questions or to order at 720-303-8868. Visit naturallyinspiredradio.com/mushroom. That's naturallyinspiredradio.com/mushroom.
Are you ready to stay informed and inspired 24/7? Tune in to Naturally Inspired Radio anytime, anywhere. Visit naturallyinspiredradio.com, or for the best mobile experience, download the Simple Radio app. Search for Naturally Inspired Radio, save it to your favorites, and click on the graphic to listen instantly. Catch live broadcasts, revisit past shows, dive into long-form podcast conversations, and discover rare, censored presentations by leading health experts. Plus, explore documentaries uncovering the hidden truths of occult and esoteric history. Stay connected, stay inspired. Naturally Inspired Radio is always at your fingertips. Tune in now. For health questions or comments, text Tammy directly at 720-303-8868. naturallyinspiredradio.com.
Welcome back. We're talking to Dean Lerwick from Pumpkin Creek Ranch. Go to pumpkincreekranchco.com. I think Jason has it there in the chat as well. Join the ranch revolution. I'm telling you, we are in the middle of a food revolution for sure. People are waking up all over the place. And the new gold standard, friends, is transparency. It's transparency. Just look at the stories we covered today. You know, if it isn't clear to you that this is the war of the corporations and they could care less about your health and what your family is eating, I don't know where you're living. It is clear that this is, you know, we're stuck in the middle of these corporations that are battling it out for their own agenda. Here's how you tap out of that. You go straight to your producer. You go straight to Pumpkin Creek Ranch. And right now, you get 10% discount off your first order. They ship, they deliver locally in Denver and in northern Colorado. So you can get it delivered. But if you're out of state and you want to support small farming, small regenerative farms, small batch, wonderful flavor beef, I tell you, there's nothing like it, actually. It's the only beef my daughter will eat. Thank you very much, Dean. No hormones, no mRNA, and a family farm. Yeah, she's quite the little beef snob now. I could not get her to eat beef, and now she's a little beef snob. Is this Pumpkin Creek? Is this Pumpkin Creek? Like, well, what else would it be? So anyway, I want to give our audience a little bit clearer picture of what you guys are doing over there. So explain to us why small batch beef is important for quality, for animal welfare, and also for flavor.
Well, our cattle that we bring to market and offer for sale tend to be older animals. And we believe that that has an effect on the flavor. And so they're grown at a lower growth rate because we're not using the feed additives that would allow us to push a higher calorie diet to them without, you know, maybe I need to explain a little bit of this. When you push a real high calorie, which basically is a real high carbohydrate diet to cattle, because of the way their rumen, their stomachs work, you end up with a lot of problems, health problems. Mainly, it makes their rumen go acid, and it will cause feed issues. It will cause all sorts of health issues. And so a way to avoid that, so you push as much carbohydrates, calories to the animal as you possibly can, and then you give them some feed additives to suppress the increase in acid in their rumen, and you can make them gain at a higher rate. So they're fed for a shorter amount of time. There's less money put into them overall, as far as feed goes. And you increase that feed conversion is the way it's referred to as in the industry. We aren't doing any of that. We're not using any feed additives. The cattle spend most of their lives on grass or cover crops, out grazing. Towards the end of their lives, we bring them in and we start them on a diet that has about 30 to 35% barley and oats that we raise on our farm. The rest of it is forages that we raise on our farm. There have been times when we have to go out and buy some feed, and then we're very cautious about where we buy it, what their practices are. But, especially the last few years with the drought, we haven't been able to raise enough feed on our farm. And so we've had to buy some. But again, we go and we make sure that who we're buying from is practicing the same type of farming practices that we are. But that ration that we feed these animals is a low growth ration. It takes them longer to be ready to go to the locker, to go to the slaughter plant than what would typically be. And we think that allows a flavor to develop a longer. We feed them to a heavier weight. It lets there be more intermuscular fat, higher marbling. It ends up bringing a higher quality product to the consumer, but it's slower. And that's just the reality.
But it's nature. That's the way nature intended it. And it's just, you mean to tell me, Dean, that if cows eat the wrong food, they eat a bunch of crap, that their body starts breaking down? I mean, that's fascinating, because that's the same thing that happens to humans. So, we eat too many carbohydrates and the body starts to break down. It's fascinating.
Yeah. In order to understand that, you have to understand the stomach, the digestive system of a cow. They have a great big fermentation vat that's called the rumen, and that's where the feed sets. And it's important that maintains the proper pH. And when you get an imbalance in easily digestible feed, which is typically corn, ground corn, lots of carbohydrates, it breaks down really fast. Well, that drops the pH of that rumen, and the cattle will get laminitis, which is an inflammation of the lamina in the foot. It gives them it makes their hooves grow really long. It'll make them stiff, sore, and it can burn the little sites on the rumen off where they absorb the nutrition. And so there's all kinds of bad stuff that happens when you feed them too high of a easily digestible feed.
So interesting, because we're careful about how we're raising beef, and we're really mindful about, mindful for profits, I guess, in the standardized model of farming. But people don't even pay that much attention to what they're putting in their own body. It's just fascinating to me that, nature's always a mirror. I feel like if we're really lost as humans when it comes to our health, we can look to nature and say, well, what's going on there? because it's always a mirror type of situation, I find. And that's the beauty of it. What role do animals play in the regenerative practices at Pumpkin Creek? What does that do to your soil, having these animals grazing like that?
Well, so one of the things that we're trying to do with regenerative agriculture practices is to restore the biological life in the soil. The biological life is critical if you're going to wean yourself off of the added inputs like synthetic fertility and high use of chemicals. You need biology. You need bacteria, you need fungi, you need protozoa, nematodes, all of that stuff. Cattle offer the opportunity to inoculate your soil because of their rumens. They have a naturally occurring high level of bacteria, fungi, all the other stuff that we're looking. So as they're out grazing, and we have a crop rotation where we put cover crops onto our farm ground and then we graze the cattle across it. And so they help as we're trying to rebuild that biology. They help to inoculate our soils through their manure and their saliva. So.
Yeah, it's just a beautiful system, and I'm not sure why humans think that they can, synthesize it or rush it or push it through and still get the same product. What is that about humans, Dean?
Well, none of us got into the situation we're in on purpose, or we didn't realize we were heading that direction, but we ended up in a system of production that rewarded really just margin. We were working with a small margin. That's where our profit came from. So the faster we could move those individual animals through, the more money we could make in a year. And so every time somebody came along and said, well, if you do this, these cattle can finish a little bit faster. You can get a little bit more growth. And what that ended up doing was leading us to where we're at now. And it happens slow, and with the best of intentions. But then we stop and say, wait a minute, I never intended to be here. I didn't start out here.
Right. Makes a lot of sense. Everyone, visit pumpkincreekranchco.com, because as I'm looking through the website here, give it a try. You can get a 15-pound starter ground beef box for just $155. It's on sale right now. You can go bigger with a 35-pound ground beef box for $320. They have organ meats. They have all your favorite cuts, and they've got a bunch of wonderful sales on right now. Plus, if you're a first-time buyer, purchaser, then you can get 10% off of your order. Dean Lerwick with Pumpkin Creek Ranch. Thank you so much for getting on today, Dean, and I'm so glad we've fixed our technical difficulties. We'll be having Dean back a lot more moving forward, and he's going to teach us a lot. He's taught me a lot over the last year or so. Thank you so much, Dean. Thanks, everybody, for listening. This has been Naturally Inspired Radio.
Are you ready to stay informed and inspired 24/7? Tune in to Naturally Inspired Radio anytime, anywhere. Visit naturallyinspiredradio.com, or for the best mobile experience, download the Simple Radio app. Search for Naturally Inspired Radio, save it to your favorites, and click on the graphic to listen instantly. Catch live broadcasts, revisit past shows, dive into long-form podcast conversations, and discover rare, censored presentations by leading health experts. Plus, explore documentaries uncovering the hidden truths of occult and esoteric history. Stay connected, stay inspired. Naturally Inspired Radio is always at your fingertips. Tune in now. For health questions or comments, text Tammy directly at 720-303-8868. naturallyinspiredradio.com.
Nearly 40% of Americans struggle with a $400 emergency expense. An extra $300 a month can be the difference between stability and financial stress.
Are you feeling the pinch of rising expenses? Imagine what an extra $300, $500, or even $1,000 a month can do for you. Introducing a simple 3-step system designed to help you create a steady income without the overwhelm. Step 1. Follow our easy-to-use plan. Step 2. Take small, consistent actions. Step 3. Stay motivated with weekly coaching designed to keep you on track and moving forward. Whether you're saving for a family vacation, paying down debt, or just looking for breathing room, this system is for you. You don't need special skills, just the desire to make change. Join a growing community of success stories today. Visit simpleincome.info or text 720-764-7448.